let's talk first of all about your duties as the game manager. This is your first year. People come to a game and they think that's just an easy job, but it's not. What are some of your game day responsibilities for Jewell Athletics?
Well, there's a lot that goes into it. Organizing the student workers to help us with concession stands, who's monitoring locker rooms, working with officials. Every sport has its own little monster to deal with. And,
sure.
So it's just working through those logistics.
Is football the hardest because you've got more people on the team on each team than anybody else?
I wouldn't say the hardest. I'd say it's just more just managing the potential situations that can occur. I mean, we can set everything up the way it's supposed to be, but things never happen the way it's supposed to be.
Never.
No.
Things
don't go the way it should all the time. So you got to be prepared and just kind of think ahead of what could potentially could happen.
Now we're looking today at football being a home event, but we also have volleyball and soccer, and once a year cross country, and swimming is starting to host their meets, and basketball's practicing. So there are a lot of logistics that go into, especially the fall season. How do you keep it all straight? What's your organizational system like?
Just be prepared and just be just kind of be ready for any situation that comes up. Kind of be not trying to think of the right word, but just kind of be low key with it. Just, if something happens, just be prepared. You know what to do with it, and put the people in the right position to make that make change. There's several work study kids, students that work with me that are well prepared and know what they're doing. So just putting them in the right place to succeed, just like coaching.
You've got staff members that help. You've got the work study kids you've mentioned. Do you have any idea on a football day how many different people that really go into making this happen?
Oh, I'd say anywhere from probably 10 to 15, including concessions and gate, maybe more than that, probably 25 people that get everything going and help that event run. And
a lot of people don't realize that we also host both Liberty and Liberty North football games, which is another home event for you. Mm-hmm. Kind of the same scenario there? You have to be in charge of most of that stuff? Yeah,
very, very similar. Liberty and Liberty North High School, they do a great job with concessions and running the event. We're just there to facilitate them. They're great people to work with, great city, great schools to work with. So just make sure they have everything they need to get everything up and running.
And Jeff, like we said, this is your first year doing it at Jewell, but you're not a rookie when it comes to this kind of stuff because you have other jobs besides in dealing with game day environments besides this one. Tell us a little bit about the other things you've done.
Oh, I don't know if we had time for it in the broadcast.
I'm especially talking about the Chiefs.
The Chiefs, it's a very busy time anyway, but during the fall, working with the Kansas City Chiefs, organizing stuff, especially for the Rams this week, and I'm already starting stuff with the Jets for next week, home games, working logistics with them. What time their truck gets here, St. Louis is driving. They're leaving their facility at 9 a.m. Saturday morning. They're going to be here at Arrowhead around noon. Just trying to get everything organized for that aspect and working with the Jets already to start working on when their plane lands and their logistics. So.
Right. When you say work with those teams, what are your responsibilities there?
Basically being the go-between between the Kansas City Chiefs and the rest of the NFL. So when the Rams are moving in, getting with their travel people, their equipment manager, make sure they have everything they need. We're there to help them move in. Everything logistics from moment they get there to the moment they leave, and it's usually 45 minutes. Once the game's over, 45 minutes till they're completely out of the locker room and gone, which is unbelievable. If people really knew what was going on, it's 45 minutes from the time the game's over till the truck is leaving. It's 45 minutes.
That's incredible. That's incredible. It sounds like a glamorous job, but do you get to run into the superstars? Do you get to run into the Chris Longs for the Rams or Rex Ryan for the Jets? Do you see those people?
Absolutely. See them all the time. I'm in the locker room with them. See them all the time. I'm very fortunate to be in that opportunity and represent the Kansas City Chiefs in that aspect. So, yes, I see those guys. I'm right next to them on the sidelines, in the locker room with them all the time. So, I'm constantly with them. I see some of the best of the best.
Yeah, I'll bet you do. I'll bet you do. That's not all you're doing. And here at Jewell, you are also the assistant softball coach. And that in itself was kind of what led you into this. But your softball team this fall has played the World Series. They're doing practices, all of that kind of stuff. And this is going to be a pretty good softball team that you've got.
It's very impressive for what we have built. Coach Combs and myself have really developed this roster and this recruiting class. Every day, with as much as I do, every day I cannot wait to be around those girls. And as stressful as the job, all three jobs are, every day I can't wait to get out to practice, see those girls, and be with them and just see what this team has become. It's something very special.
What is this team going to be like? Just through the fall, at least, what do you think?
A very, very competitive team up and down the roster. very competitive from a mental aspect and also on the field. Very competitive, very fast, very powerful, very, very competitive.
This is our third year in the Great Lakes Valley Conference as far as being eligible for championships, and softball's been in the top 4 in the tournament the last 2 years and going for a third straight. Do you see growth in the softball team despite how good you've been in the last couple of years?
I see great improvement and great growth in the softball program. Yes, it's one of those things I love to talk about. I can, the other jobs I have, but when we get down talking softball about our girls and our program that we've developed, very, very passionate about that. And what we have as a team right now and what we have coming up in the future is very, very impressive and very exciting.
As the assistant for softball, what are some of your specific duties? Are you working with outfielders, for instance, or what?
Work with outfielders. Recruiting is what I do a lot of. I love that aspect of it. Being able to talk about the William Jewell College experience and also the softball program and recruiting the right type of people to come to this institution, this program. Outfield is what I do mainly on the field and coaching first base and, helping the runners move from first to second and get them over as fast as we can and try to produce as many runs as we can.
What's kind of the, the template for, a generalized template for what you're recruiting? I mean, what are you looking for in a player?
Exactly what we have on our roster right now. Someone that's very competitive, that plays at the highest level they can, play on the highest competition they can play. We want someone that's played in championships. So when we get to the championship, we know how to act and how to play in a championship game. Athletic, powerful, not say size-wise, but just powerful from a athletic standpoint. But very competitive, very fast.
Game day is always a big day for you, I know. What's a typical day you work? How many hours in a day?
Depends on which environment we have. Okay. If it's here at Jewell, a football game, I'll be here at 6:30, and for a 1 o'clock start, and I'll probably leave around 5:36 on a Saturday. So I don't get much free time. On Chiefs game, on a normal Sunday noon game, I'll get there at 5 o'clock, leave about 6:30, and that's a very stressful environment for those hours, and that usually takes me a couple days to calm down from that.
Really?
As stressful as that is, and as much that goes into that, it usually takes me a couple days to kind of calm down from that. So,
finally, what's the reward you get out of it? What do you get intrinsically from doing that kind of job on game day?
I don't know. Never had that question. I guess just knowing that everything went smooth, and I represent both organizations, both places with as much pride as I can, and try and do what I can for the Kansas City Chiefs and William Jewell College.